Did you see that girl calling out the person from the Spirit Tunnel at the J Hut show? She was like, I don't know who it is, but every video, one of y'all be offbeat. It's always one of y'all. I'm pretty sure it's the same person.
Things where when somebody's offbeat, it is like auditorily distracting.
Yeah, it disturbed her.
Like, why does it sound like it's supposed to be like clap, 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 nap? Like, all right, hold on. It's kind of like when you see people do the wave.
Oh, yeah.
And people mess with the wave. It's like, you see it coming. Whoa! Like, how you messing?
You're my special friend.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Special Friends Podcast. It's your boy Wuzi, and I'm here with
Earoke.
And we're back with another one.
Another week.
First recording of the year.
It is. I just realized that. It feels good.
Yeah. Got a break.
We did get a break. A little. Well, we still was working, but we weren't recording.
Yeah, I mean, but this still different though.
It was different.
Don't gotta show up like every week.
Yeah.
Didn't have the little topic meetings or nothing like that. It was a little break.
It was.
Probably didn't feel like a break for you. See, y'all don't know. She had her family over, and she was stressed about it. At first, she was pumped about it. I mean, y'all saw if y'all was watching, y'all saw she was pumped for it. And then I was like, oh, she's rejuvenated and rested. I reached out to Ariel, and she was stressed. It didn't make no sense.
Taken out. Okay. Taken out.
Okay.
I literally wasn't. I still haven't got back on my regular sleeping schedule. Like, I was up to like 4 a.m. every night. And it was just a lot of personalities to manage and a lot of needs to meet. And I love them. So glad. I'm grateful I have a family to spend the holidays with. And also, it was exhausting. And me and my siblings were in bed for 3 days after they left, just like in our beds, just
not extroverted at all.
Barely eating, barely seeing each other. I think we saw each other like going to the bathroom, to the kitchen a few times.
That's so funny. That's so interesting. But I mean, I guess it makes sense given that, I don't know, your family needed to be met.
Yeah. They needed a lot of attention from all of us. I guess they're just trying to make up for us like not being around us frequently anymore, or us in proximity anymore. Okay. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you had a good holiday season.
Yeah, overall it was good.
Did you tell them that you gave everybody raisin pie?
Oh no, I forgot.
Dang, you only had one job.
I told my grandmother when I was making it that my friends were going to try it, but I forgot to like follow up and tell her how it went. It was so much going on.
So I asked my grandma about it. I said, Grandma, you ever heard of raisin pie? And she was just like, yeah. But the way she told me how to make it was not the way that you made it. She said, it's like a pecan pie. I said, is it? I said, is this how pecan pie is? She's like, no, it's like, think about the way you make a pecan pie. I said, you make it with raisins. I said, I need to.
So hers is like more gelatin.
I'm guessing.
Like, I think that would be bombs. I think pecan pie is my favorite kind of pie.
Okay. I can see that.
If I put the two together, maybe we got something there, you know?
Yeah. And if y'all don't know, we talking about last episode, we tasted her infamous raisin pie, and we all had our own, feelings about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like I said, I went and followed up with my grandma about it, and she said the way she told me was like, it's like pecan pie, which made sense when we were talking to like Allie about it.
Yeah.
And she was kind of saying like it reminds her of another pie, but with a different fruit. I was like, that's a good point. So maybe I might make the next raisin pie.
You should. I believe in you. You're a good cook, so I think you can do it.
I don't know if I'm a good baker.
You don't have to bake it.
Well, yours you didn't bake, but my grandma said something about
my grandmother sometimes put like cream. I forgot what those called when it's like fluffy.
Whip, I don't know.
And she bakes that part to get it kind of brown on
like
top.
Like a broiled thing.
Yeah. But other than that, you don't have to bake the version I make.
Yeah, we'll see. we'll see. I mean, you don't gotta cook the raisins because obviously they already raisined.
Yeah.
So
Just don't use as many raisins as I did.
yes, I got a good eye. I was looking like. Anyways, but that's good. I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah.
Good time.
Did you enjoy your winter break?
I don't even know what happened. I just had a lot of. I just feel like I worked through my whole winter break. Honestly, like not like worked as far as like making videos, but worked as far as like actually had work. Like,
Yeah.
like Christmas fell on a Wednesday, which means Christmas Eve came on a Tuesday. So I went to work Monday, had Tuesday, Wednesday off, and then was back at work. So I don't really feel like anything major happening during the Christmas break, like the winter break. I mean, Thanksgiving, obviously, I was in Fresno for a week, had a good time. I've already told y'all about that. But yeah, I mean, we're here. I'm excited.
And New Year's?
Yeah, New Year's I went out for a little bit, went to round one.
Mm-hmm.
Was out there, had a good time, played some pool, and then went to BJ's and ate a Pizookie into the new year.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a vibe. It was a vibe. I need to get another Pizookie.
I want to have like a Pizookie party because you can get like the pans, and everyone can make their own dough and bake it.
Sound like too much work. Just go. They $5 on Tuesdays.
It just seems fun to me. I guess it is a lot of work, but
providing all the pans, getting the different cookie doughs, and now you got all that cookie dough. Unless people bring their own cookie dough, it's potential there. I just feel like it's a lot of work. And then the oven situation. Because I remember we did a pizza party once, and I didn't realize, damn, we gotta bake all these pizzas.
Yeah, people are in waiting.
Yeah, because if your pizzas, all the pizzas don't fit, now we got somebody who like pizza gonna have to wait after everybody. But pizza technically shouldn't take that long to bake anyway.
Yeah, especially if it's fresh and not frozen.
Anyways, that's funny, but yeah. New Year's was dope. I'm just happy again. I'm excited for this year. Excited for 2025 and see what it will bring. Yeah, I'm excited.
It's a good year, I think.
Absolutely.
I mean,
what we might as well go into at this point.
Yeah. Sorry, it's a good year. I think this is my first year, like, kind of starting to dream again and like have like real vision for myself again.
Okay, get romantic with it.
Yeah, romanticize my year.
Starting to dream again.
I am. I think the last 2 years I've been like, or maybe even the last 3 years, I've been like heavy in survival mode. And I feel like haven't had a lot of capacity to consider like my passions too intentionally or too deeply. Or like to go after maybe some ambitious goals. It's been like, if you wake up today and shower, you did something and that's good. You made it, it's like, so I feel more secure and like fortified to actually have some ambitious goals for the year and be excited about the challenge to tackle them. And even like just dream, like not grounded dreaming, like big dreaming, So I'm open to like all the possibilities this year.
Well, what's like, so when you say like before you were survival mode, now you're dreaming, big dreaming. Like, I guess I know you said that you didn't have the time, but like where was the time going?
It wasn't really about the time. It was just around like the mindset and literally my energy, like capacity wise, is like, I was just always exhausted, always worried about paying something, always just trying to just make it through my day, make it through my week. And now I feel like I've rested. I've had plenty of time to rest. So I feel like I have a little bit more, I guess I feel more full to now produce things. Before I was just like scraping away at the bottom of the pan.
Not the bottom of the pan.
To get things done.
That's how gravy's made.
So yeah, that's what I mean. Like before it was just like, I'm just working with I was working from like a lacking place. And now I feel like I'm full.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meal.
I'm full. I'm full meal. I'm not just a snack anymore.
That's funny. That's pretty good. Yeah, you know. So like we had a conversation about like what's something we want to do different this year that we did like different than we did last year.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you would consider, or like what would you?
One thing, I have a list of like guiding principles that I created for myself for this year, and one of them was stop over like extending myself to people and things like commitments. But the way that I worded it was basically allow them to ask instead of me just being like gung ho and like volunteering myself. So I'm going to try to practice and apply sitting and waiting until someone actually asks me instead of like offering unsolicited advice, support, going out my way to do things where, you know, they appreciate it. Thankfully, I have a squad that actually appreciate it, even if they didn't ask. But just allowing them to initiate the ask.
And when you say that, like, what does that look like?
So a lot of times I have conversations with people and they're like, I want to do this or I want to do that. And I'm like, I know how to do that. Or like, I know where you can get resources to do that. And then I'll spend hours either on the phone with them or researching something for them and sending stuff to them. Or I put myself in their project and now we're co-leading this project. And it's just like, but yeah. And I'm just like, you don't have energy for your stuff, but what's going on, you know? So it's just like loving on me more and my projects more and my new visions and all the things, and waiting for them to actually ask me for that support before, and that would give me the opportunity to say yes or no too. So yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. Makes sense. It's funny too because I don't have that problem, but I do have that problem.
Okay.
In the sense of like in that sense of we all want to be useful. Mm-hmm. Some people are always like giving. I was definitely a kid at home. I remember vividly when I was younger getting in trouble for being like, I got snacks. My mama got snacks. And like, you know, pillaging the snack cabinet for the people at school who ain't never got snacks. Yeah. And my mom was not happy about it. But, you know, like it always had that kind of energy. So it's like when you go into adult life, you kind of take that with you in a sense of sometimes people need things and you can kind of see it and you're like, yeah, I'll help you with that. And trying to get to a space where, like you said, people ask. I'm not maybe 100% going to ever be that way because I think some people are scared to ask. But getting more in line with if they need it, they need to come to me. I'm not about to solve your issues for you. So I think that's a good thing when you're talking about energy, when you're talking about focus and dreaming.
Yeah,
I think it's important. I think it's important to do stuff like that because I gotta choose me.
I gotta choose me, Lucius. So, there is this. Hold on, I want to see it. Make sure I got it first. Sorry, I know I pulled out my phone, but I went to the attentions night last night, and they had some verses. It was James 1:5, and it was talking about like don't be afraid to ask God for what He's already promised. And it was the preacher was basically saying like a lot of times we don't receive things because we never asked for it.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, that's a even like bigger confirmation for me is like biblical sounded of like what I'm gonna ask for God for more this year too. But also it kind of aligns with like they ain't asked for it. If they're afraid to ask for it, why are you afraid to ask for it? You know, like
absolutely.
Like especially with what the type of friends we are, it's just like we're always coming through for our friends. So it's just like it's not no evidence where I just like shut you down or like did you some type of way where you should be afraid to ask, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of stories in the Bible that kind of talk about that, like people jumping the gun and messing stuff up. So that's a lot of that's pretty interesting way to think about it. Interesting. For me, when I think about the question of like what we're gonna do different, is this always so interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because the end of the year is always deeply reflective for me. Like more like this is what I achieved, this is what I'm gonna do next year. But I never really think about like what's something I did last year that was very ghetto that I need to not ever do again. And like I don't know. I think if I wrote notes on, let me see if I wrote some notes before I say something that's completely different. I'll be writing notes and then I'll be forgetting. Yeah, exactly. See, I need recollection. Something that I did last year, and it's been not even only last year but the years before, is that I've been very soft with like my space and time. Like if I'm video editing and someone calls me, I'm more than likely last year I would answer the phone, or if I have something to do or I'm doing something and people call me, like I'm likely to sit on the phone and chop it up, or just, kind of just get distracted, allow people to distract me or pull me out of the spaces that are productive for me. And again, it's sometimes for the sake of like trying to be there for somebody, but when it happens on a consistent basis, it can become a burden at that point and less about supporting each other. And now it's like, now you just, you gotta get a grip.
Yeah.
So that's like the big thing for me this year that I want to do different, is I want to be a little bit more firm on those different spaces. So like for me, like Saturdays are a very like productive day for me. So I have to be like very careful about who I allow to call me and things like that, and how long we sit on the phone, stuff like that, at least going forward, because if not, things need to get video edited, things need to be addressed, emails need to be sent. There's like a lot of stuff behind the scenes that needs to be done. Yeah. And when you work 9 to 5 and you're dating and you got a mama and a daddy and sister and everything else, like, bro, you gotta make it church. You gotta like make it all fit. So for me, it's like being firm and like, no, this is a space that we have. And if you can't fit it in a space, then I don't know what to tell you. Or it can't be, or, just creating those boundaries in the sense of, you can call me whenever you want as long as it's not around this time.
Yeah.
And we work around that, So, utilizing more of the day, like, lunchtime conversations and things like that. So that's like my big thing that I want to change this year, is just really being, again, accountable, I guess you can maybe use, diligent,
setting hard line boundaries.
Yeah, like I was talking to Richard about this. Shout out to Richard Controlla, and we were talking about like, there's a thing about getting a timer and setting, like, how long should this take me to write this email? It should try to take me about 20 minutes. You set the timer. Anytime you got distracted or you get pulled away or you start scrolling or something like that, you stop it, and then you keep going. And it shows how like frivolous you could be with your time sometimes. So it's like, why did this email take me an hour to do when on the timer I've only used 8 minutes?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of just like gives more insight about how to craft your environment in certain ways. So that's me. That's what I'm looking to do this year, is really
lock in like that.
I'm sober for the first 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I'm going to be sober, I might as well get some stuff done. That's the whole reason why I plan to be sober, is to, take advantage of all the time available. Yeah. So yeah, I'm here. Good. Full send. That was so funny.
That's a good one. I think I can take from that too. Definitely.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to hold each other accountable.
I mean, we could.
I'm gonna check in.
Yeah, should I check in with you? Do I call you?
Yeah.
Hey.
You working your own stuff, not nobody else.
Yeah. How many people did you take on jobs for today? What does this month look like? How many people asked you to do stuff? Now, how many people are you helping? Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Yo, make it make sense be really convicted me.
Why?
Because you be right every time. Like, it don't make sense. Why am I operating like this? Like,
sometimes, because to me, I think things are way more simple than we make it.
Yeah.
So when people overcomplicate something, I'm like, nah, make it make sense. It don't make sense. If you got to go through all that to make it make sense to me, I don't want it. I don't want it. It's too complex. When it's complex, it ain't right. Not always. A lot of times.
a lot of times.
A lot of times. You know what? I'm just gonna get into. I'm excited, guys. We have a segment idea that we want to try out. I hope you guys are here to.
Are you rocking with this?
Exactly. Sorry to all the audio listeners. There's videos involved, so if you're listening to the audio version, make sure you head over to the YouTube and check it out because we'll have the videos up. But it's a concept I wanted to try out, and I call the segment "They Better Than Me." Basically, anybody who's ever been on the internet knows there's crazy videos out there. But for me, there's a lot of videos that I feel like people's reactions don't match up to how I feel like they should react.
You're right.
And I kind of got a couple of videos here that I want to go through, and we just kind of examine the person's reaction. We give how we will react, and then just kind of talk about the circumstances in general. Because a lot of these videos, again, it's nothing too crazy, but some of these really just I don't know how I would have acted if I'm being for real. Right. So yeah, I'm excited. Got a few videos here. I'm gonna put the first one on right now. So we're about to play the video. Sorry, I had to figure it out. I didn't have the Wi-Fi hooked up. We don't got Wi-Fi in the office because I'm cheap. But yeah, again, this is the guy getting baptized and he gets held down a little bit longer. This is not the original video. This is a lady started cutting up after, but her commentary is hilarious. But nonetheless. Sorry, her goddamn kills me.
But she pops up.
Yeah. God dang. Let me see. Let me see if I can find the original video. But because you see this clip and you don't think he gets held down that long from that clip,
right? But
when you go to the actual video, he gets held down. Anyways, I'll find it. I'll put the link in the description. But the guy gets held down for 10 seconds in his baptism.
At least 10 seconds.
At least 10 seconds. And he don't do no kind of flailing.
He just
chilling.
Submerged.
He just absorbing.
He's
his spirit getting washed.
Lord.
And I'll put the link in the description, in the YouTube description, and the podcast description so you guys can watch it. But I don't know. What's your thoughts on him being dunked that long?
So what took me out first off from the full video is the pastor looking over at the kids like, you think it's good? And the kids are like, yeah, we thought you saw take this man up. What you doing? But if I was down that long, I would think my pastor had a vendetta or something against me.
Yeah. He must know some personal sins I got going on.
Right. He knows something I don't know.
I was wondering what was he thinking in his head when he was doing it? Because everybody else was this is a long time. Did he feel like in his head it was a long time?
I don't know. Because for him to take the time out to still have this man under the water and have a conversation with this kid on the side of him, couldn't been me.
Yeah, and the guy comes up we've all been in was I went under the water too long. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to knock it. I just be
his skin curling up, his eyes turning red.
Bro, he came up pruny after that. I don't know. My thing was when I think about the person who was under the water, I just wonder that's my thing. I wonder what both of them was thinking. Cause
what's going through his mind?
Because in my head, if I got baptized in that way, I feel like I'm so used to it that I would pull myself back up at one point.
Oh, like kind of
You're
feel
like,
it.
oh, I'm coming back. So if I feel like, is he holding him down or is he waiting for him to pull him back up?
That's true. I wonder if he like tried to.
Yeah, like did he try to raise himself back up? It's like, oh no, I'm still here. You know, like
he probably did.
And I would give it an excuse if he got prayed over. Like he was like saying a prayer and he was holding him down, like, oh, I'm praying over you.
Yeah, but he was just
like he was talking.
He was chit chatting with the kids.
Like he was just like, yeah. So it's like in that video, the reason I used the video with the girl lady, because she said something in the video that really had me dead. She's like, if that happened to me, I would have went to a different church. And I'm like, I really feel that because you probably would have had me mad.
And I saw the video. I just saw you was chit chatting with some little kids.
Yeah, and the joke too was like she said I would have been. I'd have been doing something like I'd be like, get above me, like for real.
Like let me up.
I don't know if you ever been held underwater before, like with like siblings or something like that. Well, he said we used to be swimming all the time, even though I can't swim. We used to be swimming all the time, and you know people be on your back when you getting held underwater, bro. It's a natural reaction to be like, move, like I can't breathe. Like, I'm trying to fight for my life.
Carry you.
Yeah,
I'm trying to barely swim myself. Like, why are you on me?
It was such but I think if I was in a situation, I probably would have pushed myself up. I ain't gonna lie. I probably wouldn't have fled, but if I would have pushed myself up, and if he'd have pushed me back, I probably would have got hot.
Fighting outside.
Pastor, come over here. I gotta talk to you. I gotta get some understanding. But yeah, he definitely. So let me ask you in that situation, because we're just making a game right at this point.
Okay.
Is that person like? Would you do that? Like, is he better than you?
Oh, for just getting up and coughing and
for allowing to be sit down that long.
I feel like
you feel like it was okay.
I feel like the guy may not have witnessed or may not be too familiar with baptisms. You know, maybe it was just like, oh, this is
baptized for the first time.
Yeah, so he's probably just like, oh, this is what it is. You know.
Yeah, hold my breath.
Yeah, let me just hold my breath a little longer.
You never know too. Cause it might have been a conversation before that was like, I'm about to dunk you and hold you there.
I don't think he had no conversation before that.
Hold your breath.
Because it was already at a park or something, right? It was just a random park.
I don't know if it was random because I got up the tub and it filled the water.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
it's like my backyard.
A playground.
Yeah, a little, not even like the good playground. Anyways, let's get lost in the weeds. But do you feel like he reacted appropriately?
Well, he reacted just to save his life in that moment. He was coughing, trying to catch his breath.
But see, he was getting saved. We worry about he was worried. See, that's the problem. That's the problem, sister. He was worried about your physical body. He worried about his soul.
In that moment, he was worried about his lungs. Okay. He could not breathe.
At all. Poor baby. I think he acted accordingly. I mean, I think seeing it from the outside looking in is more like, you need to leave. But it's like, in that moment, like I said, 10 seconds, he probably just like,
this is the Holy Spirit movie.
Yeah. You know, I think it probably was a moment for him. So I think he acted accordingly. He better than me for sure, but I think he acted accordingly.
Yeah.
All right. The next one is getting gaslit by Airbnb host. My favorite. Fun fact, I've never used Airbnb before as the video loads.
I haven't either.
Yeah, never.
Yeah.
That's not too early. Okay, so why are you doing that? Because I need it's done. Did you pack? It's 7 in the morning. My checkout is at the close. Yeah, it's okay. You can go to the airport because I need the plan. But my friend, I rent this for you. I know. But my checkout is at 12. It's 7 in the morning. That's what yesterday, but today, you know what happened? I truly will understand. Because some kids coming very soon. I need the flat. But with my friend, it's 7 in the morning. What do you mean you did the 7, 8, 6, doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, but my checkout is at 12. Listen, go to the airport, take your stuff, have coffee, I give you money for you, have coffee. I have my wife and my kids here. I know, give them out. Yeah, but the checkout is...
Okay, look, stop right there. That's all right there. I'm not gonna play the whole video because the video's 4 minutes. Again, links gonna be in the description. What are your initial thoughts when you see this?
He said 7, 6, 8.
Yeah, 7, 8, 6. What does it matter? What? When your checkout's at noon, that's a big difference.
Are you packed?
Yeah, exactly. Are you packing right now? Y'all not packing?
Listen, go to the airport. Plenty of restaurants in the airport.
What?
Take your time.
So this is my initial thoughts about the guy talking, and this is a black thing. You are talking way too much for me. You a minute in of having this conversation with this man. As soon as I said the checkout was at 12 and he rebutted, it'd be like, nah, bro. If you're not getting my money back, I'm not
Right.
leaving.
And he was like, that was yesterday. Like, what you mean?
Yeah, I rented the spot. That was yesterday. Today you leave. So I feel like the guy was just talking, because again, it's a 4-minute video. I ain't talking to nobody for no 4 minutes about
At 7 in
me
the
trying to
morning.
leave at 7 o'clock in the morning, and my kids and my wife is in their sleep. You have a good day, brother. I see you at noon. I see you at noon. Tell them people to do something until noon. Not to mention, like, no hotel will even do that. If I come to go check in early in the morning, they can be like, please, get out of my face.
Right.
Unless you pay for it. But, yeah, that was... So my first thing is he is talking way too much. The other guy, I just don't know. Again, that's why I asked if this is a skit. Because the other guy is so, like, serious that it's like, I can't believe that this is real.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard for me to believe that you really thought waking him up at 7 and telling him to go is not a big deal.
I don't know if this actual video is a skit, but I've encountered people like that.
Yeah.
And so people like that exist. So it's not far-fetched, even if it is a skit. But his excuse was like, the cleaners have to come in by 9.
Yeah.
And all this stuff to get the new people. And I'm just like, what does that have to do with me? My agreement says my checkout's at 12 o'clock. Why are you waking me up at 7 talking about I can spend 6 hours at the airport until my flight's ready?
Yeah. Exactly. Like, come on, man. Like, bro, it's wild to me.
I would have closed the door.
I mean, he does later on, but
after 4 minutes.
After 4 minutes of talking, that's what I said. Like, I think he handled it properly though, because I mean, I'm not gonna play the whole video here, but as he goes on, he just keeps on retorting like, my checkout's at 12. If you're not gonna give me my money back, it's not a big issue.
Right.
And the guy retorts saying like, these people are nice people. They flew a long way. They want to rest. And he like, I don't care about none of that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you stood on that, because what that got to do with me?
Yeah, am I not nice people? And do I not need to rest?
And you already got my money.
Yeah, and you took my money. When he was making that excuse, I was just like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. At that point, I was like, is your family coming? Like, why are you trying to kick? I don't know. Maybe I feel like it wasn't like a real guest. I feel like it was probably his family or friends coming or something to visit.
But that's what I said. Like, that's why I saw this video and was like, definitely, they better than me. Only because he talks so long. I wouldn't talk to nobody for almost 5 minutes about how I'm not about to check out, and he keeps on, come outside. No, I'm not coming outside, bro. What you mean by that? So God bless that man. Airbnb. I hope you could report him on Airbnb. I don't know how none of that work. I never used Airbnb before. But
I'm pretty sure
this is why some people in the conversation every week is like, this is why I don't use Airbnb. And I can feel it, because some people be ghetto. Like, why are you pulling up on me? That's the concept to me. That's also wild. Like, usually when I see it, like they have like a little box or something that they can use to get the key and stuff like that, so you don't have to bother them. Why are you pulling up on me at 7 o'clock in the morning?
There's this other video I see. There was this girl giving her story time, and she said that her and her friends were in an Airbnb. I can't remember if it was a bachelorette party or a birthday party, something like that. It was just a girls' night. She said that the owner never left the property, even though like in the description it said like, owner would be off the property if you need anything, call. They said the property had like a house at the back. And so the owner was at the house at the back, not like fully off the property. And so she said when the night got started, the owner just walked in the house to the kitchen to grab something. She was like, "Oh, like I just needed this," and then she was like, "What are you guys up to tonight?" and all this other stuff. And she said that she would not leave. She was there for hours, just like trying to kick it with them.
Poor lonely lady. That would have burned me up. Girl, you not invited to this party. You put ends on this?
Right.
We took deposits. You got a part of the deposit? The heck are you talking about? So funny. God bless the lady. Hope they made her feel invited. This next one is about a nervous student driver. This one is, I just want to let y'all, if you got high anxiety, be careful watching this video. It's a lot going on.
I always wanted to teach my nephew how to drive, but I wasn't around by the time he got old enough, so.
I just need the second break. If I don't got the second break, I ain't doing it.
This is that's turning straight. Keep going straight. You're confusing me now. That's too slow. You gotta feel it go down a little quicker because they already moving fast. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get on to there a little bit quicker than that.
Quicker than that.
Right, get onto the freeway coming up. So be looking out for that. Stay in the right lane. You're moving. There you go. Right there. Keep it going. Keep it going. Stay in the right lane. Just keep going straight. You don't see this lane here? Keep straight.
I'm gonna look at this line the whole time.
That's turning. Straight. Keep going straight. You're confusing me now. Straight. That's it. I just want you to stay in your lane. You keep going from left to right.
Yeah, go ahead and get out the car.
We gotta stay in this one.
Go ahead and get out the car. I gotta go back because this, like, what was she thinking she was doing?
I don't know.
Look at this. Why? What were you doing?
It was a full.
Like a fool. You turn the whole wheel when he's trying to stay straight. I've never, again, when I'm driving in a lane, it's rare that I'm fully turning the wheel to. God bless her, please.
To even just get over to the next lane, you don't fully turn the wheel.
You literally.
No, what got me in this video is she runs a red light.
Yeah, I've seen the red light ran.
And it was at that point where he was just like, I ain't gonna say, like, I ain't got no energy in me to say nothing.
The light was yellow for a minute, but she was not stopping. It just, whoa, whoa. Good thing it's a student driver on the back, because geez Louise, you're dead.
Because I felt him in that moment, like, we will sit here in silence.
Well, the sad part, he's like, you was doing good. Then he said, because in the video he was talking about this is why he don't tell students that he can go on the freeway, because as soon as they do, they start tweaking out. But I just don't know how to explain it. Like, so basically, for people who are listening, is a girl driving with an instructor, and he's trying to tell her to stay in her lane, and she half turns the wheel trying to stay in the lane, because at first he grabs the wheel to kind of adjust it, like, hey, stay in your lane, and then when he lets go, she fully turns one way. He goes, what do you do? And then she starts to turn the other way. He like, what are you doing? What's going on? Like, what's going on? You having a mental breakdown or something? And again, I just know that I need to take my kid to training.
And she's not asking no questions.
She just quiet. I mean, she knows she probably embarrassed. She definitely embarrassed. I think he definitely not better. I think he definitely better than me. Because I think I would have been. I'm the type of person, we going to pull over now.
Yeah.
I'm driving us home.
Yeah.
You ruined it. Get in the back.
We're not getting on nobody's freeway.
Yeah, get in the back. Like, because again, they kept driving after this. And again, link will be in the description. But they kept driving after this for a little bit. And I'm like, I don't know how he did it. It'd been a quiet ride. It'd been a really, real quiet ride, man. Because I don't want to hear you say nothing.
And then he tells her to make a right. And she starts making a left. She starts swerving to the left.
I just be wondering too, like, I mean, I guess I'm trying to think back when I first was driving, like, what were some of the things that I thought of? The only like weird thing that I thought when I was younger is that I didn't know that you had to hold the brake to full. Like, I thought once you stopped, it stopped. I didn't know the car would continue to drive, but I learned that like immediately in the parking lot. I was like, oh, because again, I'm not looking at my mama feet. I'm thinking like, oh, we stopped, not that the car would keep rolling. But any hoodoo. That's a little light one, but is it light though? I don't know if I consider that a light one. It feels a little light.
I couldn't be the instructor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a few of his other videos, and he's so patient with them, and I'm just like, no,
That's what I don't,
my life,
I'm not led in that way.
my life.
I didn't say my life was that way. We got a couple more. This one is, I don't know anybody who's familiar with the TikTok challenge where they throw the guy throws the girl on his shoulder. Yeah, it's one of those gone bad. So there's a lot to unpack this one. I'm excited about this one. Did you watch this one?
Yeah,
I'm very excited to watch this. And they do the subtle foreshadowing challenge on top of it, which just makes it that much worse. Yes. People, the way she grabbed her back at the end was crazy. Oh, baby. Toe up. So basically what happened in the video is there's a challenge on TikTok where men show their masculinity, I guess, by grabbing by like doing like almost like a cheerleading pose kind of, where they grab them by the waist and they throw them up on their shoulder and have the girl sit on their shoulder. So this guy and this girl attempted to do that, but it looks like he threw her off his back. Let me rewind it to clarify, make sure.
because at first I thought they were dancing.
Yeah.
Look,
He
straight
pretty
up
much
lifted
throws her
her.
off the back.
yeah,
I don't think he understood the challenge rules. I don't think because again, why are you pushing her legs up?
right. So that's why I thought they were dancing, because I have seen that too, where like the girl flips over. But when I realized he was just trying to sit her on his shoulder, I was like, why is he?
Yeah, why? There was a lot going on here, and this video has like 1.6 million likes on it. And I just saw this and was like, if I was her, this is a grounds for breakup. I wouldn't be mad at her if she was like, this gave me. I'm not a big fan of the icks, but I could see this giving somebody the ick where it's like, you know what, you dropped me and broke
Especially
my spine.
watching the.
You dropped me and
her
broke my
spine, her hip, her neck.
She looked like she was going, like she don't look like, usually sometimes you'll fall, you start laughing. She looked like she was in genuine pain.
Yeah.
And his reaction also wasn't.
Buddy, what?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Nice. So from your perspective, how do you feel?
We would have to take a break. Like I would have to. I don't know if I would break up, but I would need some space and time to reflect.
Okay.
I would be like,
what does it say about him as a man, allowing that to happen to her?
what? I don't understand this. It was almost as if he did it on purpose.
That's how it feels.
Cause like
It also feels like,
she was up there already. What are you lifting her for?
yeah, you don't understand simple concepts. You don't follow directions. Because I don't understand why you did what you did.
And watching a video of him doing this.
Yeah, that's what I said. It looked like it's scripted, but she is genuinely tore up. Yeah,
buddy.
like I feel like
What?
my reaction would be like immediately get on the ground, like
Yeah, he just stands there and holds his face.
poor baby.
And she really did hurt herself. Well,
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm
really
saying.
hurt.
I think he did it on purpose, but I don't know if it's been purposeful for the skit. Let me see what the comments saying.
they said that it's cause for a divorce.
Oh, oh my, she's still with us.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of comments were like, is she alive?
Have I witnessed a murderer? That's funny. Why did Buddy just stand there shocked? Go help her. Yeah. Does he hate you? That's a good one.
Does he hate you?
Does he hate you? Is real life.
Ooh.
That's pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of challenges.
Yeah.
I think the only couple that I really like doing challenges is like this. It's this black couple, and they just kind of do like crazy yoga poses, like acro yoga poses. Those are pretty interesting to watch, and they don't seem dangerous. But this, like, I would have to have confidence to do something like this. I think I could probably do it.
I think you can do it if you don't flip.
I just don't. Again, I just don't know what he thought in his head. Like, yeah, it was a lot. I'm sorry.
If I was him,
I would broke over her too. If I was the guy in that
like, I
scenario,
can't come back from this.
yeah, I was like, I just you no longer gonna have faith in me, and I just don't think that's gonna be good for our relationship. Rightfully so, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of trust and faith broken. Yeah. I don't. If I was a guy, I don't know if I would break up, but I wouldn't. I don't think I would be shocked. Like how hard she fell, I would be down there with her, like seeing about her. Like
I think maybe breakup would sound crazy, but I feel like I just I'm doing this for you. Because if I was you, I would break up with me. And if y'all stay together, like, where do y'all go? Where do y'all go from here? What do we go from?
Like I said, I would need that space to like really figure out where do we go from here? Can I come back from this?
For real, like, especially if she got an injury. Nah, B.
She probably like has a bruised hip and rib.
We'll have to check on Taylor's here in a minute. Oh my God, it just sounds so bad because she hits the ground so hard. And he was struggling, boy. Look at that face. Yeah, he didn't have her. You got to go, buddy. All right, the last one. It's a little bit on the longer side, but this one is a person being messy, and then when the person meets them, they what's the word? They start acting like the victim. This is from, I can't remember the name of the show. What's the name of the show again?
I don't know. It was a show I didn't watch.
I think it's Married at First Sight.
It's Married at First Sight?
But I think it's the UK version.
Okay.
So yeah, this is a 4-minute clip. Again, I'm not gonna watch the whole clip. I'm probably gonna skip around the key parts because we watch these ahead of time. But simple concept is that the woman who's gonna be speaking first, she brings up one of the guys, like, where's his partner at? And he's like, oh, it's good. Like, she went somewhere else. And then she ends up being messy by telling, like, no, I talked to her and she says things aren't good. And then he brings up some personal stuff about her relationship and it devolves from there. So I'll play it.
Feel like you are lying about how you genuinely feel about a lot of things.
I'm not talking about this shit no more.
We're not really to go back, come on.
What more is there?
Come on.
No, what possibly more is there to squeeze out of this?
Because we don't know what's going on since after.
You know exactly what's going on.
No.
I don't know what's going on. She's just gone home to see her kids. And she sent Polly a text saying she needs to think about her marriage. Sorry to hear that, man. Me and Holly have been through it, ups and downs, so this is not new to me.
But do you think it's good to be so up, down compared to how other people have been?
What do you mean compared to how
So wait, that's a key part. Remember she said this. Key part, remember she said this.
This is not new to me.
But do you think it's good to be so up, down compared to how other people have been?
What do you mean compared to how other people have been, though? Because
Also, I just realized while watching that, they might have did that for the plot. That editing looked a little. Anyways, that's the DP. That's the edit video editing. They might did that for the plot for a second, but we go break the fourth wall on that one.
for me personally, if somebody told me they wasn't physically attracted to me, I'm out. If you don't like me, go and do somebody else.
So context: that girl, her husband said earlier in their meetings that he wasn't physically attracted to his wife, and they had to work through that. So context.
You're comparing that comment to what Adam said about me.
Yeah, and also if somebody said they were twisting their husband, I'd be gone. So you can't. Just because you're in Adam, let me finish. Just because you're in Adam, you're in a decent place now, doesn't give you the right to be like, oh, do you think you should still be here or any of that kind of stuff?
The differences with me and you with my husband is the fact that we spoke about our issues and they've been resolved and they've never been brought up again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not been the case with you and Holly. So I don't think you have any right to sit there and bring up comments that have been worked on.
Different people handle things differently. So I think you should just focus on your thing and me and Holly will focus on our thing. Just mind your business.
Alex, I've done nothing more than want to mind my own business.
Oh, girl.
So do.
Make it make sense.
Right.
I've done nothing but to mind my own business. But you start this conversation by asking him and pulling teeth for him to talk about his relationship. Got it?
For me and my marriage when I've actually worked
It's
at
more
my
than your
marriage and
marriage.
got further along compared to where you are in 5 weeks.
Guys. I mean, to have to beg a man to be physically affectionate towards
How
her
hard
is
to
a lot.
beg you to be physically
Guys,
attracted to her?
Alex.
Inside that commitment zone
Alex.
and begs for the bare
For
minimum.
the bare minimum that he's
Alex.
giving.
You shouldn't have to beg a man for the bare minimum.
Oh my gosh.
Mind your business.
Oh my.
We'll mind our business.
He not lying. That is the bare minimum, though. To
have
think
it.
that I look cute.
Don't fucking come for me when you've got nothing to back yourself up on.
I've got everything to back myself up.
Oh my
You
gosh.
fucking don't, because me and Adam actually communicate and speak. We talk, we sort stuff out, and it's resolved, which is why
Begging
we are
for
where we
the
are,
bare
which is why
minimum.
you're doing it on your own.
Listen, your husband is not physically attracted to you.
Alex, you're not done?
Everybody can see it.
You're not.
He is physically attracted to me.
You think?
Yeah. What's he said to you then?
Oh,
Nothing.
Alex.
Exactly.
Evil.
That little smirk.
That could be my profile picture.
He wasn't physically attracted to me 3 weeks ago. That's changed. There's been lots of stuff that Holly said about you.
You're
that hasn't
smiling.
changed. So please don't come to how my husband thinks and feels about me. Because believe it or not, Alex, the sun doesn't shine out of your ass, and you don't know everyone as well as you think you do.
You're saying things about my relationship when yours isn't perfect.
But mine's better than yours.
It's not about comparing though.
This is my relationship. This is so
It is. I'm sorry.
It's not about comparing.
How old are you?
Don't sit there and call me childish when you
Yeah.
describe my relationship
So
to
that
yours.
is.
At the end of the day, you're the one who said that you would switch husband, so you need to pipe down. You need to pipe down.
All I said.
You need to pipe down.
He said
Oh my gosh. How did this escalate?
He's laughing.
I said it, I'd say it again.
Listen, at the end of the day, you said
Say it again.
Yeah.
So you're not sorry.
Worst thing is not because he's still here.
Babe, come on, stop it.
Why would you say see? Oh my gosh.
He's an absolute arsehole.
Let me ask you a question. Are we here to compare relationships? No, we're not here to compare relationships.
Stop comparing my relationship to yours.
Now that's where I wasn't gonna watch the full video, but I was waiting for her to say that part. Cause she tweaking. So we're gonna play the last one, but rewind it a little bit.
Arsehole.
Let me ask you a question. Are we here to compare relationships? No, we're not here to compare relationships.
Stop comparing my relationship to yours. He brought the comment up about my husband not finding me attractive.
Right.
So fuck him. I will defend my husband and I will defend my marriage.
You said it?
He
On the
said
couch.
it 3 weeks about it. 3 weeks ago. It's boring. It's been
Polly.
being boring. Fucking hell.
Oh my gosh.
I need to watch the show.
Bro, I was
Seems
like
like
right
my
now.
type of show.
I forgot. I'm trying to see what happened after this. I need context. Dang, it's a lot. But yeah, we was locked in for a second.
So much. Oh, okay.
What do you think? How do you feel about? Because in this scenario, I feel like Alex was the one that was trying to get did dirty.
Yeah.
How do you feel from his perspective?
I would be like, first off, why are you talking to me? Period. About my marriage. Secondly, why are you trying to talk to me in this group, like, setting? If you were actually quote unquote concerned, like, you could put me to the side, talk to me. Thirdly, why are you coming to? I'm a man. Why are you coming to me? You're a woman, right? Like, I don't think there's certain situations where I feel like a man to man or a woman to woman type of conversation should happen, and I don't think this was that type of conversation that should have happened between a man and a woman, especially married man and a married woman. So if I was Alex, I would have responded the same way. Like, why are you?
Me and Alex are the same. He's definitely not better than me. Definitely, we are the same person.
And her rebuttal about 3 weeks. 3 weeks?
That's less than a month. That's crazy.
3 weeks?
He said it 3 weeks ago. People could change. The thing that for me about Alex was, so let me say this, because I don't know if in the show that they had these meetings to talk about the struggles of, because obviously first love at first sight, I imagine it was they know it's gonna be struggles, so like I don't know if they come in this area and that's what they're supposed to talk about and he wasn't talking about it. So I'm gonna give her grace for asking about it, but I don't like the way that she came about it, especially him already know. So because my thing is, if he knew that his wife texted her,
right,
either they had a conversation before already, or there was obviously some kind of prior knowledge of this conversation. So for you to didn't bring it up when we come in a group is a little like, what was the point? Because again, the way that she talking don't seem like she really was trying to help. I think she was just trying to, I don't know what she was trying to do.
She was just trying to not be the scapegoat, because we haven't seen the show, but it seems like her marriage was the topic of discussion at one point by the group. So I guess she feels like it's someone else's turn to be in that hot seat. Yeah, I mean, I guess as a man, maybe he should have just removed himself without addressing it at all. Nah. But I don't know, like that's why I feel like there are certain conversations that women shouldn't approach men and men should approach women about because of that. Because now someone can look at this like, oh, Alex is disrespecting this woman. I'm just like, this conversation shouldn't have been happening to begin with. If anybody
gets that from this video, I want to fight you. I only say that because just looking at, like, seeing this clip, he was chilling. Again, it seemed like she came from a genuine place. I will say that. But once he was like, what's the point? Like,
yeah.
What's
Especially
the point?
After he answered her, because she was just like, you know, you want to tell us like where your wife is at? And he was like, she went home to see about her kids.
Yeah.
Why are we still talking?
Yeah. He gave you some more information. She texted Holly saying that.
Right. She wants to think about our marriage.
Yeah. So now again, I'm not a messy person. I like to observe mess, but I'm not messy. So like, I don't know if I'll go as far as to be like, you know, really digging my heels into her neck about her man not liking her. But it is a good point. Like, and he said another point too that I think people went over. You also said that you would trade your husband.
So I missed it.
Yeah, I heard that. Maybe I'll go back and listen to it. But he said, yeah, you also said that you would like switch your husband if you could. So it's like, y'all got a lot going on. Talking about that was 3 weeks ago. Those are like somebody bickering and having a disagreement is different. Is different than like a person saying, I don't think you look good.
And you want to trade off.
Yeah, like in a marriage, that's nuts. So, yeah. I don't think Alex is better than me. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I think I'm better than Alex. I don't think I would have went that far.
Like I said, like maybe at some point he should have removed himself prior to when he did.
How you feel? So how do you feel about her? Like pulling that up. Like, do you feel like she's being genuine?
I think she wanted to be the person to initiate and instigate for him to acknowledge his wife wasn't in the group. Because people probably always just like,
where her husband at?
I know, because they were showing people, but none of them was her husband. So I'm just like,
because if so, your husband also a sucker. Why he didn't stand up?
Yeah, because I'm confused. She was like, I'm gonna defend my husband. I'm like, you're calling him out because his wife isn't here, but where is your husband?
See,
and then the whole thing about like, so stop comparing them. You've been comparing us since you started this conversation.
I'm not gonna lie, that would have sent me over the edge. I mean, he was laughing about it, but it probably would have sent me over the edge. Like, are you kidding me? You started all this. You
started the comparison to begin with.
God bless her. I think about the circumstances in place. I will say, shout out to everybody who's in that room. I feel like they did their best at really trying to like damage control, and it just got out of hand because they both was just going at each other. I'm like, I feel like y'all should have got married away. Y'all like each other. What's going on? I'm confused. Why y'all got so much energy toward each other?
She like Alex.
She like
That's why she in their business.
So what's up? We all gonna break it off.
Right.
Try to trade.
Try to trade.
Oh, that is so funny.
But yeah, I think she has the wrong intent. Whatever this experiment is or experience supposed to be, like for her to already have that mindset of like, yeah, that's what we're here to do. Compare marriages. Like, no, we're here for you to focus on your marriage. Your marriage, not other people's marriages.
We gotta watch this. I just need to know what happened. What season? I gotta figure out what season this is. Is it too late? Hey, y'all know. This is posted what? On October. It might not be too late.
Right.
But that's the last video, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed that segment. I think it was fun. How'd you feel about it?
It was fun because, like you said, I don't like to be a mess.
I like to observe the mess. That's so funny.
Analyze.
Analyze. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Wuzi. If you're enjoying this video so far, please do me a favor and like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It helps us out so much and lets us know what videos you like so we can create more content like it. So if you can go down below, like the video, hit that red subscribe button, I'll really appreciate it. Now let's get back to the video. Let's get into the topics for the week. We don't have a lot of topics, obviously. We had a pretty dense segment, but before I say anything, I do want to give prayers to, is it the Palisades?
Yeah, and Altadena, West Hollywood is moving into a few other neighborhoods now. It's affecting the UCLA campus now. My friend had to evacuate. He's there now for his master's. So I was checking in on him. He went back home with his family, so I'm glad he's safe.
Yeah.
The wild thing about him, though, he was at work on campus and he wasn't trying to let him leave.
Can't clock out, bro.
So he walked off his job.
I would have. You could fire me. This motherfucker about to be burnt up anyway.
So he was upset. But yeah, it's still spreading. So
yeah. I just want to give prayers to all the people out there. I watched a clip of JJ Redick, the coach for the LA Lakers. He really said some things that I don't think we think about too often. I think some people do, but a lot of people probably don't. Is that, you know, like he's not worried about the home because it's gonna be rebuilt. They're gonna figure that part out. The thing he's more like distraught about is the memories. You know, like he said, like he had pictures of his kid, drew something, and that was hung up on the wall. They framed it, and that's burnt up and stuff like that, and probably countless pictures and all these different things. And invest in a fireproof safe, y'all. But yeah, I just again give prayers to all the people who got dropped from their insurance. Prayers for the people who, you know what I'm saying, got the last minute call. Just prayers to all the like firefighters and stuff like that are out there, because some of the stuff that they're doing to like a lot of the air people, a lot of the maneuvers that they're doing to save these fires are actually really dangerous maneuvers, and they're doing them over and over and over again. So I don't know if did you hear about the plane that got hit by the drone? So a bunch of planes from like different countries, so like the Canadians and the Mexican border, they came to help, and one of the Canadian planes during inspection, they found a fist-sized hole on the wing, and they found out it was a drone. People had a drone over the fire, and the plane hit it because obviously it has to get down low. Yeah, just drop the water off, or it won't put it out, just disperse in the air. And it hit a drone. So some people have an idea who the person is, but they made a big thing like if you fly a drone over the fire, like you will get prosecuted. Like, so it's a big thing, and it's so crazy too, because as a photographer, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, there was a big drone crackdown on like basically like they were trying to make it really hard for you to have a drone unless you like had licenses and all different things. And at first I was like, that's stupid. Seeing stuff like this, you know, now I'm not mad at it, because come on, bro, y'all just don't got no common sense. Like, why would you? And I get it, maybe they didn't know the planes were coming, but like, why are you trying to fly a drone over the fire? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So yeah, just prayers for all those people out there helping, and even the community. Like a lot of people are lost. You know, people. There's a lot of things that probably got burnt up that they don't have anymore.
Yeah.
So definitely a lot of prayers for them.
Yeah, and I know there's been 10 deaths. So prayers for all those families who lost someone.
The animals.
Oh, all the animals. It's been really sad. Even seeing the ones that survived and ran further into the city, and they're just like exhausted from like running for their lives and stuff. I know from the different stories and experiences people have been sharing, is like not only did they lose their home, where like their childhood home, been in a family, like this house has been in a family for like 3 or 4 generations. But it's also like their whole neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like where me and my friends to kick at the park, and like our corner liquor store, or like our favorite vendor shop, whatever. It's just like, I know one of my friends, he was saying that it's just like his whole childhood memories are burnt up, like his entire neighborhood where he had such great upbringing in, and with all his friends. So it's just like, yes, things could get rebuilt, but like you said, it's those memories that I feel like people should acknowledge more, instead of like, oh, well, assurance this, or like the community's helping. Just like, yeah, but that's like 20, 30, 40 years of people's lives just gone. But I am glad that the community is coming together to support people, all the various donations and the various companies and organizations coming together to make sure people have shelter, food, clothes, transportation, all that stuff, water. I know that the water's unsafe, so that was a big thing. I know the smoke is unsafe because of all the lead and all these other stuff that was burning from the houses. So it's just like, you wear a mask, but still ain't supposed to be out there, even with the mask on. So people still having to like do life, unfortunately. It's strange, but that's the society we live in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really sad to witness so many. It was such a huge
the area is crazy.
Yeah, and for it to still be burning is
no containment yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty. I just wanted to bring light to that. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody who has seen it, because we're in California, a lot of people I'm pretty sure who listen are from California, so you know something about it. But just again, just wanted to make sure people keep it in their prayers. I did want to get some clarification on something, because the big thing that people are hearing about what's going on is that people got dropped from their plans.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to, again, just use this platform to kind of bring some clarification to that, because I think some people blame California. Some people blame the insurance companies. Some people blame negligence. So I just want to bring some clarification on like what's going on, so you can get a broader picture and make your own opinion. I'm not here to make an opinion for you. I just want you to make your own, but give you some information that I feel like people don't know. So the first thing is that, is it true that like insurance companies were dropping people's plans? Yes, that's 100% true. State Farm came out and said they dropped like 1,000 people at the top of the year. And I think LA, or I can't even know if it was LA or California, they just made a mandate where you can't drop people off the Palisades for a while. I think for this rest of this year, especially people in fire risk communities.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they just made that decree like a couple days ago, but don't quote me on it. But they have, and they've been doing it since 2020. I mean, the fire's been bad for a while, but since 2020, they've been dropping people in fire risk communities off, dropping their fire policies.
Yeah.
The reasoning is the part where people don't understand, or people just don't have all the information. So from the research I've done, there's a few reasons. Part of it is the regulations that California put in place as far as capping the percentage increase on premiums. Obviously, we live in an expensive state. We live in California, so they put a cap on the percentage increase on premiums, so that way you don't get priced out of insurance and things like that, which again is good because we want people to be insured but not be gouged to have it. So that was part of the reason why companies were dropping people, because they couldn't raise the premium to match how much money they were putting out. They also another thing that why insurance companies didn't see it as a quote unquote a big deal is because there's a thing called the California Fair Plan Act, or it's called California Fair Plan. And what it is like, it's a program where if you can't get accepted by any insurance company, you can go to the California Fair Plan and get basic, keyword basic, fire insurance. What I mean by basic is that it won't cover the full expense of everything, but it will, like, it can help in case of a fire. It will help start the process, but it won't pay for everything. So you still got to come out of pocket for some things. And this is specifically for places with high risk properties in California. The thing about this program that I wanted to bring up is that this is not a California program as far as like made by the state of California. This is actually a collective effort made by the insurance companies. So they all came together like, I think in the 60s or 70s and made this for people who get priced out or get dropped for their fire insurance. And the whole premise of it is, again, to offer services for those who can't.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be seen as a last resort, but for those who can't get insured for X, Y, whatever reason, this is something that they for sure get insured. And the people who've been getting insured under it has been going up year and year and year. Again, there's options on there. Cause what traditional, or they call it private insurance, you get things like, pay for dwelling, payment for cleanup of the property after the fire, all different things. But with the basic, you don't always get that unless you have to pay more for it. So, keyword again, basic. So with this, you have to add on, like, if you want to pay for dwelling, you get an add on for that. If you want to pay for the cleanup for the cost of the land, you got to pay for that. All different things. So that's what's been the saving grace for a lot of people, is that they're getting that, but it's still, again, it's only limited coverage compared to private insurance. And if you do get what you would consider a full coverage plan, you're paying a whole lot more than you were paying before. So, with that, I wanted to talk about like what is California going to do, because now there's obviously this is happening, and the mayor of LA is kind of like not wanting to really talk about it right now. But there is some things that they've already been putting into place before this. They passed it in December. And that's that basically, because insurance companies are trying to pull out of California altogether, which is not going to happen. Like,
like you said, started back in 2020. Because I know even car insurance, a lot of car insurance, private insurance, already been leaving California since 2020, because it was like a rise in like fraud. So we've been dealing with that these last 4 years, just full insurance, every insurance arena. So
exactly. So California has passed some legislation in December, basically that would force insurers to offer insurance for people in at-risk areas, which is key, in at-risk areas, because that was the problem. It's like these insurance companies aren't like bouncing on all Californians. It's just, if you're in an at-risk area, oh, sorry, we can't do it for X reason Y. So California is making a law where that's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
And the big thing is that they're going to make insurers write policies equal or greater to 85% of the statewide market share. That sounds complex and it sounds hard to understand. So the way that it was read to me that helped me understand is that if they write 20 out of 100 policies, 17 of those have to be in high risk areas, like mandatory. And that won't jump like 2025. It won't jump to 85. They're going to do 5% each year. But it's basically saying that if we write policies, you have to write a certain amount of those have to be the people who are in at high risk areas, whether that be fire, floods, or earthquakes.
Yeah, I know. We just signed our lease we renewed our lease, And at the top of it, since that law was passed in December, big bold, I certify that this house isn't in a risk area of a fire, flood, earthquake, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. My sister was like, why is this so huge at the top?
Gotta let people know.
And we were like, oh yeah, like, you know, like this just got passed in December. So, but yeah, so our landlord was just like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I certified that this house is not in high risk.
Exactly.
Y'all got the basic insurance going on. So yeah, it's a big thing.
Exactly. So that's the information, you know, I wanted to pass along to you guys just so you can have it. Again, I'll put all the resources in the description, either on the YouTube video or the podcast. And yeah, again, just pray for the people out there. In any way, for the people who are out there who are listeners, be safe. You know, I can't imagine what people are going through, whether people who are close to it or who are farther away. Like, it's pretty scary out there. So yeah, just wanted to bring attention to it.
Also with Altadena, it was the first Black neighborhood to go against redlining. Oh, well, the first neighborhood to go against redlining, which allowed Black people to purchase homes in LA. So like I said, a lot of homes were generational homes. And so there were a lot of Black people in that neighborhood still. Of course, it had diversified and everything, but a lot of rhetoric that I see online is like, oh, those are rich people and and I'm just like, even if they were wealthy, what does that matter? These are humans who lost their homes, you know, which homes have is more than just what the value of the home is. It's like we said, like their memories, their lives.
Yeah, there's market value, and then there's like the sentimental value that can never be bought.
Yeah. So whether they're wealthy or not, it's just like you can't have no empathy, no sympathy for these people because you assume that they're rich or wealthy. But yeah, so people thankfully been online clearing up that.
That's good.
That narrative. So hopefully people can stop being so negative about such a devastating tragedy that people are experiencing. Like,
yeah, exactly. Because no matter what, people are affected. You know, there's somebody who lived in that neighborhood who got that money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And most of those homes were bought at like $100K. They might be worth over $1 million now, but they were bought at $100K of people, of BIPOC people, like people who are still working class.
Exactly.
Till today.
They just own it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy. But on that, I want to get into some of the topics. Again, we only got a few topics here, so shouldn't be too much. I wanted to talk about, you know, we talked about the New Year's earlier, before we did the segment, and I want to talk about like about friendships.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
favorite topic,
adult friendships. Again, obviously, Special Friends podcast. So adult friendships is something that's very, very interesting to me. And there was a podcast, the Jay Shetty podcast, and on there he had Mel Robbins, who popularized the 5-second rule. If you're not familiar, and she was talking about they had a conversation about why it's harder for adults to make friends, and I'll put the link in the description. But I want to talk about the 3 pillars that she gave for friendship. That how she explains is like what makes friendship happen or possible. Mm-hmm. And these are the 3 pillars: proximity, basically how close are you to that person, as far as like literal like distance. She shared a statistic that if someone lives across the hall from you in a dorm, you're like 80% likely to be friends with that person. But if the person lives down the hall, it's like a 10%. You're only 10% likely to be friends with that person. So it's not like literally like, oh, next door neighbor. It's like that close as well. Which is, I wonder how that applies with siblings. But timing, so not time, how much time you spend, but the timing of it all. And she explained that as like, if you're in the same, you're more likely to become friends with somebody who's in the same timing of life as you. Versus if you got people who are at different spaces of life, you're less likely to be friends. And then energy. And that was explained as more like, you know, what do you guys like? You know, like hobbies and things like that. Like, what's the energy like when you guys get together? Like, it's different things like that. So those are the three pillars.
Could it be like also like energy you invest as well?
It could be. I don't know if she explained it that way. Again, the energy one was kind of a little bit still like a little bit pie in the sky for me.
Interest and stuff.
Yeah. But those are the three that she had. And yeah, what's your thoughts on those three? Like, do you feel like that makes sense to you, or
it does make sense to me. There is a something else I learned in college around like relationships in general, especially like marriages. And they had three pillars too. It was like trust, commitment, and investment, or something like that. So it plays another layer to that for me, and I think it makes sense. Proximity makes a lot of sense. I don't know about you, but moving away from my hometown I grew up in has changed what those relationships looks like. Some have faded and are non-existent, and the few that are still existent is because we really committed and made investment in sustaining the relationship. In addition to like most of the few that I keep in touch with still also know my family.
Mm-hmm.
So like they're also invested in my family too.
Yeah.
So I think that plays a role in the proximity piece of like how much you each invest in the relationship, as well as like, I guess the energy too, like still being in the same wavelength of like what you want out of life, or like your values are. And I think I shared this with you too. Like I have friends who like I said, seen the most purest side of me because they know me as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's still a core of who I am. And so there's always going to be a way for us to connect. And there's always going to be some type of like bond there where we don't have to speak every day, but we understand where we stand with each other.
Got it.
And we understand like how much we care for each other without having to like shove it down each other's throats type of thing.
Yeah.
Or like, no, like if I'm not in your face every day, I know you're still praying for me. I know you still love me. I know you're going to be there, support me when I need you. And I know when we kick it, we go hang out, have fun, and turn up, So I think it was great pillars to address for friendships, especially adult friendships.
Yeah. Well, because she explained like these are the things that are common. And when you're a child, like you're always around other kids because of school. You're always around other kids because you're a kid. Your mom's usually parents will try to find other kids for you to hang out with. Like,
yeah,
obviously, if you guys are around the same age, you guys are all going through the same thing, losing teeth at the same time, going through puberty around the same time, going to all the different things at the same time. And then obviously the energy, y'all just all fired up about life usually, like
yeah.
y'all just, it's like a, y'all all in the same space and it's like all like congregated. And I like the phrase that she used. She said, when you hit about 20, the mass scattering happens where everybody goes their different ways. And I'm like,
yeah,
dang, it really was about 20, like 21 for me, where it was like,
yeah,
we all
like someone's went to school, someone's had kids, got married,
someone went to the military,
someone went to jail, at least in my circle.
Yeah.
I think also speaking to the proximity thing in a sense, or even the energy thing and the timing, all three of them was college for me. Like when I went to a 4-year, all my friends I met there, you've met all of them, I'm still friends with them, but there was a point, I think it was around like 2021, when I was like, do we have anything left in common? Like it was just like you go from seeing these people every day on campus or every day in the dorm, and so it's like, oh yeah, like that's my friend, I see them every day, it's something to look forward to see them, talk to them, hang out, study together, whatever. But then once it's like that structure isn't there anymore, or that those opportunities aren't like just there like as an amenity for us, it's like you have to, now that's when the energy comes in and the investment comes in of like committing to like, I know I'm not gonna see every day, but I want to commit to like still sustain this relationship somehow. So I need to initiate, or I need to, make plans with you now because I'm not going to see you every Thursday no more, So that's something I feel like a lot of, you go through that in high school and then also college. If just like, oh, like crap, I'm not going to see you no more. Like when I'm going to see you then.
Well, and you think about it too, it makes it so, it's just so much easier, right? Like,
yeah.
If I know you and my dorm mate or you live across from me, I don't really have to plan much because I'm gonna see you, and then when I see you, we gonna figure it out then. But you live somewhere else, is like if I don't reach out to you, I ain't gonna see you.
Yeah.
And we don't make the effort to plan ahead of time, but which can also be seen as a daunting task. Like, oh man, now I gotta do. It's different when you just sitting there like, man, I don't feel like doing my homework today. Let me go see what they doing there doing. Y'all trying to go get something to eat? Boom. Like, and those are some of the best times I've ever had in my life. But for real, I ain't gonna lie to you. But being an adult, that don't really happen no more. Cause like, yeah, you think you free? It's like, you think you work Saturday?
Right.
It's like, oh shoot, I don't know what I'm doing on Saturday now. So it's like interesting. Yeah. As an adult.
Literally last night that happened with me and Ivy. Like she took me back to my car, and remember I'm checking out her old computer. Mm-hmm. So she's like, "Oh, we're gonna come over to see it. We can connect it. And you see if you like it, whatever." She literally was like, "Oh wait, let me see what next week look like." And so we're going through. She's like, "Monday I have this. Wednesday I have this. Thursday I have this." She's like, "Let's try Tuesday," and I was like, "Okay."
That's so funny.
Yeah. So it's just like,
how it goes.
It's just a lot, but yeah, that was something. That transition was hard. Well, not hard, but it was like daunting, I guess.
Yeah.
To realize like, oh crap, like this isn't gonna be set up for me no more. I have to make effort to see these people now.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where it's just like, well, what do we have in common outside of our school memories? How do we make new memories or a deeper connection outside of our college experiences? Yeah. So that was something I was challenged with over these last few years, but we've been able to sustain our group, and we still really close, and we found ways to connect outside of our college experiences. So
absolutely. Well, that's the thing too. Like for me, like again, they're pillars, so they're like almost like principles. Mm-hmm. But I was thinking about my friendships, some of the friendships that I have, and it's like I don't know what word I would use, but it just feels like when I think about the importance of all these, I think the most important one in my life that I've seen has been the timing. Mm-hmm. Energy has a play, of course, because like if you can't match energy, I don't know what to tell you. But I feel like a lot of the people that I'm friends with now, there's a disparity in age. Mm. We made the joke all the time that I'm always the youngest one in a lot of my friend groups.
Yeah, and I'm always the oldest.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it's always interesting because it just shows like the timing is a little bit different for me, which is always like throwing me off even in school. Because like, while proximity was a thing, like I got all these people that I hang out with, what I was thinking about and they were thinking about was like completely different things. And I feel like proximity definitely plays a role, but a lot of the friends that I have, like I'm friends with now, don't live in SAC and I live in SAC. So it's like, it's very interesting to think like, should I be in embracing the proximity part of it? Like, should I be more trying to embrace more people who are closer to me as far as like just miles and things like that, distance? But at the same time, I think about my friends. Like I got a friend, shout out to Viva in the UK, where he might be in Spain right now. But like, shout out to Viva somewhere out there in the EU. My cousin lives in Fresno. My other friend Charles lives in LA. Just talked to him the other day. So it's like all these people who like don't live close to me, but like I would say I have closer relationship ties to them than I do some of the people that I probably see all the time.
Yeah.
And it's very, I don't know, like I can see why that makes it challenging to be friends with people, because like even when I do meet people who are in proximity, maybe I'm just nitpicky. It's like a lot of times it's like there's always like a factor to like this person's dope, but like they live their life kind of crazy. This person's dope, but all they do is drink all the time. This person's dope, but they have no ambition. And it's like, or this person's dope, but they're like got 2 kids, like things like that. So I think the energy and timing part is like very, very key for me in my friendships.
Yeah.
It's what keeps them strong. And I just like looking at this, I'm like, man, should I be taking advantage of proximity a little bit more? Like, should I be trying to find, create, and nurture relationships that are like closer to me?
Yeah. Timing is important for sure. Like, I have friends who've gotten married. I've gotten married. So it's just like marriage transition. It changes dynamics of friendships. So that actually came up last night too. Me and Ivy were talking about a mutual friend who doesn't talk to us anymore. And we don't know if it's she just don't mess with us no more or she just, you know, in her bubble, you know. So she had got married, and me and I were both married, so we understood like there's gonna be a point where you want to like just be up under your husband and, you know, do the family stuff. And so we were trying to respect that and also be like, okay, when we go see you, like let's hang out, you know. And it was a point where I still lived in Citrus Heights, and she moved to Citrus Heights. So she was like, oh my goodness, we're gonna be up the street from each other. Like we'll be able to actually like, hang out, see each other more often. We never see each other. She came over one time.
Never came to fruition.
Yeah. And so it's just like, yes, you want to give you grace. Like, yes, like you're excited, you're newlywed, like all the things. You have a huge church community that you're super involved with, family stuff you're involved with. But then she like ghosted both of us. So it's just things like that too. It's just like, Ivy and I had already been married for a few years. We already had went through that times in our marriage. This is her time. So just like trying to fit that. One of my old best friends that I grew up with, she had babies. How old was she started having babies? I don't know. I think we were like 22, 23 or something. That changed our dynamic because now she can't just get up and leave and run to the movies, to the mall, to the Dollar Tree, whatever, where we're going.
Take the babies with you.
It was like, but she wanted a break.
Oh,
but it was just like, you can't always rely on mama to like take the kid. Like your mom don't want to watch your kid all the time. Like, so that was a dynamic that we had to navigate of like, when can you hang out? When is your mom open to watching the baby? Like, you know, it's just like that. So I think timing is important too. Is like what stage in life people are in, and if it aligns to like where you're at, makes the relationship much less complex, and much more easier to navigate and like.
Imagine people who are in marriages with kids. You know, you hear it all the time. We just gonna go have on a babysitter.
Yeah,
you can bring your kids over, and we gonna now it just makes it less burdensome. Like, okay, we can both get the babysitter, and worry about it.
And I've seen friend groups where they rotate. Like this family stays home, has all the kids at their house, and everybody else goes out, and they just rotate every month or whatever. So that makes sense, you know.
Yeah. And there's no hard feelings because everybody understands. Like, yeah, we all got kids, so this is what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. But that's why I want to touch on like one more thing that she said, not to hijack her whole conversation, but like she talked about the let go theory. That's her thing. That's her thing that she's pushing, to let go. And I think that's so important when it comes to understanding, because I don't think, me personally, the way I feel is like once you become my best friend, like you're not like, you don't get unfriended in my eyes unless you do something egregious. Like you always gonna be my guy or my girl, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not that for me, that reverence don't really disappear. But because of that, like that's where that concept of like the let go. She calls it like the let go. I think she said let go, right?
It was either let go or let them.
Yeah, let them. I think it's let them.
Okay, let them.
The let them. Where basically, like I said, if you get to a point where a person's in a different space of life, shout out to my boy Greg. He got kids. You know, if he got to do what's best for his kids, I can't really be like, you a bad friend of me. You gotta let him live his life.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's the only reason why a lot of my friendships haven't went sour, because it's like as life has ebbed and flowed, I've never like took it personal. I've never been like, F that nigga, bro. Like that's just not how I move, you know. Like some of my friends who are girls get a dude, and I already know, like I know what time you forget the dude, and you know what I'm saying. You know, we might not ever see each other again, or you know, it might get when the dude meet me, then it might be cool. You know, it's like I just understand how it goes. So it's like, but I can't get mad about that and say you're a bad friend. It's more circumstantial.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, I'm able to maintain a lot of friendships that way as life happens and timing changes. And sometimes timing, like, they'll be ahead of the curve and then we'll catch up later. Or like things change, like proximity, like you said, oh, now I live down the street from you. So like, what's up? You know?
Right.
I think the hardest part for me is like, this is funny because it's the hardest part for me when it comes to proximity is like family, because you would think all these pillars apply. They don't. I've been close to my family. I've been in the same timeline as my family. I've been on the same energy, and they just don't be dealing with me, or I don't be dealing with them, if we being honest too. And yeah, I just thought it was a good conversation to have as far as like, just again, being reflective on friendships, but also like, you know, I want more friends, genuinely.
Yeah.
But I just don't want friends that are not in alignment with what I got going on.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, you know.
I can speak to that too. I think for me, friendships have been sustained because I don't take things as personal. Like with Avneet, like she's literally been in law school the last 3 years, and law school is a lot. It takes up a lot of her time and energy and her capacity. And I think it's just the understanding of like, when I see you, I'm going to appreciate that time we have together. And also, if I can't see you because you're studying and you're doing all the things, you got to do what you got to do for your life, you know? But I think oftentimes people do take that serious.
Yeah.
Right. And she's in proximity of her classmates. So like, if her and her classmates go out because they're like, dang, we had this long week, like, let's just go out, get drinks, or let's go out and, you know, get something to eat. Who am I to be like, dang, she made time to go see them and get dinner or something? It's just like, what? They live next door. It was just like a whim thing, most likely. Or they planned to like, let's celebrate our exam that we just aced, or, you know, like, that has nothing to do with me. Why would I ever take that?
Why did you not
person?
call me 30 minutes away and come pull up?
Right? Like 45 minutes, an hour, like depending on the day, depending on the time of the day. So it's just like things like that. When I see people upset about stuff like that, well, they say they made time for so and so. Just like, be for real right now. Like,
yeah, and I'll leave it on this too. Like, I that's why I don't like that concept that people push. And granted, there's some nuance to it, but like, if they really wanted to, they'll make time. Man, me and my therapist talked about that. She said, you only have so many hours in a day. She's like, for real, like, if you only have 24 hours in a day, you can only do as much as you can do with the 24 hours. So if you count 8 of them hours, 8 of them hours should be sleep.
A minimum 8.
They should be sleep. I get 6. But it should be 8, but I get 6.
I need 10 hours.
She takes my other 2.
Right.
But 8 of them should be dedicated to sleep. Then you go to work, that's another 8. So 16 of your hours already up.
You're really 10 because the commute to and from work.
Yeah. So it's like you left what 6-ish hours to do what you can with. And when you include family, career aspirations, stuff like that into, like, you know, trying to either make more money, like going to college or starting your own business, stuff like that.
Wife, husband.
Yeah. That, like I say, you don't realize, people realize like, oh, if you really care, you make the time. It's like, girl, I can't make it 25 hours a day. Like, I can't, you know, I can't roll it over. I mean, granted, then
I want you to text me in your sleep.
Yeah, real. Like, I need you to. Hey, AI is on the way. Hey, respond to this person with my personality for the next 2 hours.
So maybe I shouldn't say this. We'll talk after. So everybody trying to steal my ideas.
For real, right? But yeah, I just and we might talk about that another time. Bring that topic back. Really talk about. I really want to hit on that about the if he cared, he would, because I think it's true. But I do think it's a little nuances that some people get hung up on. That I'm like, be for real. But yeah, again, we'll have all the topics in the description if you enjoyed it. Appreciate you guys as always. It's your boy Wuzi
And Earoke.
Catch you guys on the next one.
You're gonna clip that, huh?
Probably.
You're my special friend.